I'm Haya. This is Miller. Today I'm just gonna talk about Valorant today. Today the main topic is the service worker. Before understanding what is service worker, you have to understand the browser itself. The browser is not the it's not really some kind of like wide range of concept. I know browser is kind of wide range of concept of it, but I'm not talking about those kind of stuff. I'm talking about the really like engineering view of what is browser. Browser is just the application. The Chrome is the browser application. Safari is just the it's just the browser application. It's just the app. And what we know app, just desktop app or whatever app, it's just a bunch of instructions. App is also a program, right? And program is a bunch of instructions. There's multiple instruction of it. And this, when you're trying to run it, this program has changed into process because the process is the running instance of the program. And next, so our desktop app or whatever app is actually, when we try to run it, it became a process. It's really simple, right? But in the browser like Chrome and other browser applications, it is called Chrome. It is called the multiprocess application. What do you mean by multiprocess applications? The I mean this it's a dirty multiprocess application means that they are multiple process of it. The 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 even the like rendering. So when you're trying to go to some specific website, your browser the renders that kind of web page, and this kind of thing is handled by the process. The process is just the it's not some kind of magical thing. It's just the made of. It's just the class or object that we just defined. So the multi-process application is just a bunch of process. Let me try to give you a more simplified example. When trying to open your website, there should be one tab, at least a tab of it. And what happens when you click new tab of it? So the question is, if you click the new tab, is this process, because that is the tab is process. So is these process are separated or they are being together? The process is actually being separated. It is sandboxed because of the four. Because that makes sense, because you went to your YouTube channel or YouTube website, but you went to your Amazon website. If your YouTube website could give the Amazon bad effect or whatever good bad effect to the Amazon website, that's gonna be really big security issue. So to solve it, we just simply into the process. The tab is just the per process, and that's kind of simplified the explanation of it. But actually, the process, there's a bunch of process. The main thing is that broader process inside the Chrome, and also there's a render process. Also, and there are GPU process, but I think the core thing is broader process and render process. The broader process is they are there are a lot of thread. To understand thread, you have to understand process thing. Let me try to give an example to explain the process thing. The process is actually split into the resource grouping and the executions. Resource grouping is the operating system sends some kind of data structure to the process, but the execution is the thread handles execute. So which also means that browser has list a thread. So the broader process has some lots of thread. So the main thread of the process is called the UI thread. UI thread it's just the works that the UI in your browser. Example, the address bar or refresh button is also called a UI thread. But that is not really kind of simple. Example, when you're trying to type something in the UI thread, UI on the address bar, you will type or search query or like cat or a dog or something or some kind of the other website URL, which is called YouTube or whatever. So the browser it parses in checks it is URL or the search query, and this complex logic is handled by UI thread. But if it's done when you click the some kind of go to some kind of specific page, because UI thread is you can type URL. Based on that, it gives the IP address of your target URL, and this is handled by network thread inside browser process. Network thread. So network thread is basically doing the also DNS lookup. So DNS lookup is when it's just the checking the IP address key. The URL key, your domain, your target domain URL key, but the value also IP address. But it just checking to the cache, to the root of the cloud DNS provider. If it is not, it goes to the bottom. If it's .net.com, is go to that kind of DNS cloud of it. And once you get it, it caches. It's just the DNS lookup. It's just the how do I say it? It's just the way to fetch your target website IP address. So when you get the IP address, you're able to get the location of the server that handles HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and now you request it, and it will give the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and network thread when you get it. If it gets the HTML, it sends to the render process that, hey, I got the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, because that is what the core thing of the website. Of course, the HTML is the priority is the first priority is the HTML, and it sends to the it sends to the render process, and the render process is the one who renders this web page, and this kind of process is handled by the browser application. But now again, why we need some kind of logic, some kind of knowledge to understand the service worker, is because this service worker, it's just the commonly work as a cache. You can just fetch something in cache, but the cache only. There's a lot of cache in the web application, but cache control thing, but also you can cache in the service worker. Which also means that when you go to trying to get some kind of IP address or the use API from using the network thread, the service worker is actually be handled by before the network thing is doing that. So UI thread or network thread is gonna be called API, but if it's like already made up cache on here in the service worker, it doesn't require some kind of new API, just to use the cache in the service worker, and that really decreasing the HTTP request or API calls, because if it's cache, the cache cascades, even the backends, to improve the web performance of it is almost cache. So service worker is just this thing in the browser application, but it just works like the caching. It just the who is the one who trying to handle the cache, but I know there's more about it. But I think the core thing is the cache. Service worker is just a thing. So this is it. Have a nice day. See you next time. Bye bye.